Today we're going to talk about self-love because I just don't talk about it enough. I went from hating my existence to loving all parts of me, and in this video I am going to be talking about what exactly I did to bring that change. I hated myself my whole life. I never felt good enough for anybody. I never felt good enough for my own family. And when you start comparing yourself with everybody around you and start thinking in a way where if you were that, then maybe you would be chosen. If you were like her, then maybe you'd be loved. As soon as my mindset started becoming and shifting gears in that perspective, that's when I knew that I really had to bring some kind of change and really cultivate self-love from within. And for that, I had to go down to the root of the problem. Really reflect on the places and the spaces where I did not feel love or worthy enough. And after truly observing, being with my family, and just being in tune with what I'm feeling emotionally, I realize the very people that I have been seeking validation from, their opinion changes based on their moods. The minute I realized that, I just thought to myself, how could I let myself seek validation or rely on validation from places that's never really going to be permanent? Just understanding that root itself healed me in so many ways, where I ultimately stopped chasing and looking for validation, and that took practice. And in this video, I'm going to really talk about the 3 basic things that I did to help me cultivate the self-love that I have for myself today, to a point where I start tearing up with the amount of love and gratitude that I have for my journey, for who I am, for how I show up, and for how deeply I feel. I could only dream of feeling this way few years prior to this year. Honestly, I could only dream. So I'm very grateful to be able to walk this path and cultivate that self-love for myself. The very first point is acceptance, and this is probably the most important ingredient to self-love. I am growth hungry. I love being a better version, but it only made me realize that I was striving to be better just so that I could be finally worthy and seek the validation that I needed, only to realize that I was not getting that at all from anywhere. If anything, it was the exact opposite. I didn't feel witnessed. I didn't feel seen. I just didn't feel like I existed. And as you know, what you feel on the inside reflects on the outside. I didn't feel that way because I had not accepted myself for who I was today, this very second. I was just constantly chasing for a version that didn't exist and idealizing that version instead of accepting for who I am today and truly seeing who I am today. As soon as I shifted that, as soon as I started accepting all my limitations, all my flaws, and also accepting all my gifts, is when things drastically shifted for me. That's when I started seeing growth not as something to chase, not as something to seek to be worthy, but rather growth as just adding a shiny new software to my hardware. That's what it felt like, and that's ultimately what I heavily focused on, was just accepting myself for who I was today. And I absolutely love the version that I am today, and incredibly grateful for the journey, for everything that I have endured. Which goes on to the second point, letting go of comparison. We have a tendency to look at everything through a magnifying glass, meaning if we like something about someone, we make that their entire personality. We don't even know anything about them, but because we like that one thing about them, we start taking their whole being out of context and start comparing ourselves with that one thing that we really found appealing and wish that we were that. But we forget to see how we are a whole person. We're a combination of so many talents, emotions, features, things that makes us unique, and we completely take it out of context as soon as we start comparing one thing about what we liked about someone else with our entire being. Isn't that so unfair? So, as soon as I found myself comparing myself to someone else, I would instantly shift that narration to being like, oh man, I don't have that, to, oh wow, I really appreciate that and I'm inspired. I'm inspired by that. And how can I kind of embody an essence of that through my way? It's like, such a powerful way of getting rid of jealousy, of comparison, and because there's always going to be someone better at something uh, than you. There's always going to be someone better, but there's not going to be anybody else who's you, who has your unique set of experiences, skills, childhood. There's no one is like you. So yeah, embrace who you are and get inspired by the people around you, not be envious of them. This leads us to our last point, which is actually following through the things that you said that you would do for yourself, which means really solidifying on discipline, taking the time. If you told yourself you're going to wake up in the morning, meditate, work out, stick through it, stick through the hard things. It's always easy to think about doing something and envisioning a version that you would like to become, but all of that takes commitment, takes showing up for yourself, showing up for yourself even the days when you just don't want to. And those are the times when the true self-love comes in, where you are committed to your growth, committed to yourself, and know that you're worth it. You're worth giving that time to yourself to cultivate the parts of you so that you can be a more balanced person. Because we all come with so many pieces that sometimes are a little out of place, and it's the practice and it's the discipline and it's the embodiment that helps us fit them all into place. So yeah, these three things are something that I very closely followed that helped me really find that love for myself, and I stopped seeking validation from somewhere outside of me. And I'll be honest, this journey is not easy. There are days you're just like, oh my god, when does this end? Because it's like a constant spiral that you can get into. And those are the moments when you should come back to yourself even stronger, even with more ferocity, because no one will show up for you the way you can show up for yourself. And as soon as you see yourself for who you are and you admire yourself for who you are, the world shifts. The world starts to see you. The world starts to witness you, because you're not hiding anymore. You're not seeking for that validation from people anymore. You feel whole from inside out, and that energy is felt deeply. It echoes through your work. It echoes through how you show up. It echoes through how you speak. And all these things add up. They really do. So yes, self-love isn't all about affirmations and isn't just bathing and feeling good in your bones. It's actually putting in the real work. It's training your mind to see things differently that tends to affect you, and nothing beats understanding the root of where your lack of self-love, lack of love even came from. And I highly recommend, if you're searching for a way to fall in love with yourself, go to the root, understand where it is that you seek that love that you never got, and give yourself that love. Fill that void yourself, because oof, we really are our own healers, and there are no quick fixes. So yes, I hope this video helped you in some form, and it helps your journey to finding love for yourself. If you'd like to see more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you as always for tuning in.